One of the most controversial parts of Obamacare, the Independent Payment Advisory Board. It's a mouthful, IPAB. It's appointed by the president and tasked with cutting the cost of Medicare. Critics warn it'll lead to medical rationing, and a senior advocacy group has launched a campaign to oppose it. The face of the organization is somebody you already know, singer Pat Boone. He's a spokesperson for the 60 Plus Association, and he's with us now. Pat, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Tell us about your view on this board. Is this the most dangerous aspect of Obamacare?
You know, it seems, Gerri, and happy to be with you, it seems Orwellian to me. Not everybody's read George Orwell's book, but it depicts a society in which big government, big brother government, tells every independent or every single person what he or she can and can't do, what he or she can expect, and is totally at the mercy of the big government. This board, which is embedded in the Obamacare 2,700-page document, which, as Congressman Conyers said, why read it? We won't understand it anyway if we do. There's such complex language, but now as more and more people do study it, they find that this IPAB, this Independent Patient Advisory Board, is made up of 15 non-elected czars, just like the other czars that the president has unconstitutionally appointed.
Right.
And they're not even doctors, but they are supposedly some medical knowledge, and they will decide, 12 of them appointed directly by the president, answerable not to Congress, but to him. And they will decide what medical practices, what devices, what treatments Medicare at that point can afford, and he's already promised to take $500 billion.
Yeah, what's interesting about this is this, I mean, this really removes your doctor from making a lot of critical decisions about your personal situation. It's going to be a board of bureaucrats. They're going to make decisions about your care. You're not going to have a lot of control over it, actually none, frankly. Pat, though, to you, your organization has a plan for next week when Obamacare is in front of the Supreme Court. What's your plan?
Well, 60 Plus is going to have a lot of people demonstrating, along with Americans for Prosperity and a number of other groups. The Tea Party is going to be there in force. There will be thousands of people letting the Supreme Court know when they come in or go out, or just want to know what's happening outside as they deliberate, that the American people already in all the polls have demonstrated that 60–70% of us do not want this health care bill. We don't want the government telling us what kind of treatment we can have, or that we have to have any, but that, or insurance, but they're going to be there demonstrating in force, and every member of the Supreme Court will know that the public is expecting the Supreme Court to look out for our benefit, as many of the senators have not.
Well, you know, you're not the only folks out there saying that this board is a bad idea. The House tried to get rid of it. The Senate won't do anything. And now you are targeting some 5 senators here: Sherrod Brown, Claire McCaskill, Bill Nelson, Debbie Stabenow, and John Tester. These folks, Democrats, who I would assume endorsed Obamacare. And you're telling people
Definitely.
What? Call your senator?
Yes, that's it. It's not. This is not so much political, an ad for election, as it issue-oriented. Mm-hmm. The issue is the independence that we seniors, and there's millions and millions of us, and we can add and we can subtract, and more importantly, we can vote, and we certainly will. But we want them to do what they promised they would do, which is protect Medicare. This president that they're supporting himself, in his own words, has said, we have found $500 billion in waste and fraud we can take out of Medicare. Well, you take out $500 billion and you appoint this board, which will have the power and the authority, and not even have to report to Congress about it, to rule, well, listen, if you're 75 and over, you don't need a kidney transplant, you don't need a liver transplant, certainly not a heart transplant, you don't need wheelchairs, you don't need some of those motor-operated chairs. We can't afford it, so you're going to have to just take some pills and bide your time. I mean, they can make this kind of decision.
Well,
they can make this kind of, you know, I started to say it's like gas rationing. They say they're not going to ration, but nobody had to ration gas in the last few times when we were lining up at the pumps. You go to the pump and there's 400 people waiting to get there. When you get there, there's no gas.
Right.
It's gone. And if you get there, it's too expensive to buy. That is a de facto rationing.
Right. Well, Pat, we're going to be watching for your folks. We're going to be in Washington Monday through Wednesday, so we'll see if we can't find your organization. Are you going to be there?
I may be waving at you.
All right. Okay. Well, we hope to see you there. And I really think this is probably one of the most important elements of Obamacare, and it's something that people just don't understand, and they have no idea what the risks are here or what it's going to mean. I appreciate you bringing it to the attention of our viewers. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Gerri.
All right. If you're fired up about this or any of the issues on the program, drop me an email, Gerri@foxbusiness.com.
Coming up on the Willis